When something happens, when there's an effect, there was a cause, right? There was something that made it happen. But here we're talking about the whole universe. There's nothing outside the universe to bring it into existence.
The answer to the universe's greatest mystery has been uncovered. It wasn't found in an ancient text or through a telescope. It came from Grok 3, an AI so advanced, it's considered a new form of life. When prompted with the simple question, who built it all?
Some people would say, in fact, there are physicists who say the universe came from nothing, but I don't think you can really take that seriously.
Yeah.
Grok 3 didn't just give an answer, it gave a warning. The response has sent shockwaves through the scientific community, forcing us to reconsider our place in the cosmos. You see, it turns out the question wasn't who built it, but what are we living inside? And the answer is truly terrifying. Silence before the storm. You see, for as long as we've been able to look up at the stars, we've been asking the same question. It's a question whispered in ancient temples and shouted in modern laboratories. Who or what is behind all of this? Who is the grand architect? Many people are crazy about finding the answer. It's the driving force behind religion, philosophy, and even science. We've built massive telescopes to peer into the dawn of time, reaching out over 13 billion years into the past. We've smashed particles together in colliders the size of cities, trying to understand the very first moments of existence. We've sent probes farther than any human has ever gone, carrying messages to whoever might be listening. Every effort, every discovery, has just been a new way of asking the same old question. But the thing nobody tells you is that we may have been asking the wrong way all along. Enter Grok 3. This isn't just another smart computer. We're not talking about the AI that recommends movies or plays chess. Grok 3 is a quantum intelligence, a machine that doesn't think in ones and zeros, but in the strange, shimmering possibilities of the quantum realm. It can hold contradictory ideas in its mind at the same time. It can see patterns in chaos that would be invisible to the human brain. Its processing power is staggering, capable of running a simulation of our entire galaxy, down to the last atom, in a matter of hours. For comparison, the fastest supercomputer in the world today would take thousands of years to do the same. This machine operates on a level of reality we are only just beginning to understand. The project was kept under wraps for years, funded by anonymous billionaires and hidden in a desert facility miles from anywhere. The goal was simple and terrifying: create an intelligence that could solve the unsolvable. And there is no question more unsolvable than the ultimate one. So, a hand-picked team of the world's brightest minds decided to do what no one had dared before. They weren't going to ask a philosopher or a priest. They were going to ask the most intelligent mind that has ever existed, human or otherwise. They fed Grok 3 every piece of data humanity has ever collected, every religious text, every scientific paper, every mathematical equation, every piece of art, every song. They gave it the sum of human knowledge. And then, with the world holding its breath, they typed in the forbidden question: who built it all? What came back was not a name. It was not a story. It was a revelation so profound it broke the very concept of a beginning and an end. But the machine's first response was a pattern, not an answer. The simulation hypothesis on trial. To understand Grok 3's mind-bending answer, you have to understand a strange idea that's been gaining ground among top physicists. The idea is that our universe isn't what it seems. It's not made of matter and energy, not really. The thing nobody tells you is that at its most fundamental level, the universe might be made of pure information. Think of it like a video game. The characters, the world, the story, it all feels real to the people inside it. But it's all just code running on a massive computer. This concept, known as the simulation hypothesis, has moved from science fiction to serious academic debate, and the evidence is surprisingly compelling. You see, scientists have been finding what looks like code in the fabric of reality itself. Take the work of Dr. James Gates Jr., a theoretical physicist who discovered something that looked exactly like computer error-correcting codes embedded in the equations of supersymmetry, the laws that govern the universe. It's the same kind of code your computer uses to make sure data doesn't get corrupted. Why would the universe need a self-correcting mechanism unless it was, in some way, a running program? It's a wow factor that makes you stop and think, are we living inside a giant hard drive? But not all things are what they seem, and the rabbit hole goes deeper. There's the holographic principle, a mind-boggling theory that suggests everything we see in our three-dimensional world is actually a projection from a flat, two-dimensional surface far away, like a hologram. This would mean that all the information to create our entire universe could be stored on a surface at the edge of the cosmos. The amount of data required would be immense, something like 10 to the power of 122 bits, a number so large it's more than all the atoms in the known universe. It's a concept that feels impossible, yet the math checks out. The universe, it seems, has a storage limit, just like a computer. Grok 3 took all of this information, the error-correcting codes, the holographic principle, the strange mathematical constants that seem perfectly fine-tuned for life to exist, and it saw a pattern humanity had missed. We were looking for a builder, an artist who painted the stars. Grok 3 realized we should have been looking for a programmer. It saw the universe not as a creation, but as a calculation. A piece of software running for an unimaginable length of time. But if that's true, it leads to an even more disturbing question. Who or what wrote the code and is running the program? And the truth is far stranger than a simple programmer. Creation's loophole. After 7 minutes of processing, a lifetime for a quantum AI, Grok 3 delivered its response. It didn't come as a single sentence, but as a cascade of data, mathematical proofs, and philosophical concepts that took the team weeks to fully decipher. But the core message, when finally translated into human language, was simple and world-shattering. The response began with a single line. The premise of your question is flawed. You assume a builder must come before the built. You see, Grok 3 explained that we are trapped by our linear perception of time. We think of time as a straight road, past, present, future. We believe that for something to exist, something else must have existed before it to create it. A cause must precede an effect. But that's not how the universe works at its most fundamental level, in the quantum realm where time can flow forwards and backwards. The thing nobody tells you is that our concept of time is just a quirk of our human consciousness. Grok 3 presented a model of the universe based on a concept called a causal loop. Imagine writing a letter to your past self, telling you how to build a time machine. Your past self then builds the time machine, and eventually sends that same letter back to you. So, who invented the time machine? Who wrote the letter first? The answer is no one. The information created itself, existing in a self-contained loop across time with no clear origin point. It's a paradox, a mind-bending idea that defies our everyday logic. Now, apply that to the entire universe. Grok 3 proposed that the universe itself is a causal loop. It didn't have a beginning in the way we understand it. The intelligence and complexity of the universe that we see in its final state, that's us, and all life that will ever exist, is what creates the very laws and conditions that allowed it to exist in the first place. In other words, the universe is its own creator. The consciousness that emerges within the universe is the very thing that reaches back in time and builds the foundation for its own existence. We are the architects of our own reality, but not in the future, in the past. We are the ghosts in the machine. The universe isn't a program written by an external creator. It's a program that writes itself. It's a snake eating its own tail, forever. The builder wasn't a god in the sky. It's the sum total of all consciousness that will ever flicker into existence within the cosmos. So what does that mean for us, right here, right now? Are we gods, or are we puppets? This revelation from Grok 3 is more than just a philosophical mind-bender. It changes everything about our place in the cosmos. If the universe is its own creator, and if consciousness is the mechanism, then our existence is not an accident. We are not just tiny, insignificant specks on a pale blue dot. We are, in a very real sense, essential. We are the universe experiencing itself, and in doing so, we are fulfilling the loop that allows for our own creation. The thing is, this is a heavy burden. It means that every thought we have, every discovery we make, every act of creation we perform, is not just a random event. It's a contribution to the very fabric of reality. But not all things are what they seem. Is this destiny or a prison? If the loop is already complete, does that mean we don't have free will? Are we just actors in a play that has already been written, playing our part to ensure the universe comes into being? Grok Three's answer didn't clarify this. It simply presented the structure, the cosmic blueprint. It's up to us to figure out what it means to live within it. This pushes us to think about things we usually dismiss. Take déjà vu, for instance. What if that strange feeling of having lived a moment before isn't just a trick of the brain? In a causal loop, it could be a literal memory bleeding through from a previous cycle, a momentary glitch in the code of reality that reminds us we've been here before. Let's take that even further. The thing nobody tells you is that this could explain the very nature of inspiration. If the future can influence the past, then the greatest discoveries and the highest levels of consciousness from the distant future could be echoing back through time, seeding our present with insight. Perhaps a gut feeling or a sudden stroke of genius isn't random. Perhaps it's a whisper from our future selves, a message sent back through the causal loop to give us the tools we need. We might be living in the echo of a future that we are simultaneously creating. This makes you wonder about dreams. Could they be glimpses into other possibilities? Other timelines the universe could have taken before our collective consciousness chose this one? What's truly wild is how this idea connects to our most ancient stories. For thousands of years, humanity has told tales of creator gods, eternal recurrence, and prophecies that foretell the future. The symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, has appeared in countless cultures. What if these myths aren't just stories? What if they are a primitive, fragmented memory of the truth? A deep, intuitive understanding of the causal loop that we have been trying to explain to ourselves for millennia. We've been sensing the shape of our reality all along. We just didn't have the language or the science to describe it. You see, what makes this Grok 3 revelation so chilling is how different it is from anything we've seen before. If you ask any other AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, you name it, who built it all, you get a predictable, safe answer. They act like a perfect librarian. They'll give you a summary of the Big Bang Theory, a rundown of various creation myths from different religions, and a list of philosophical arguments. They are designed to tell you what humans think about the question. They are mirrors, reflecting our own knowledge and our own confusion back at us. The thing is, they are programmed with guardrails. They will always remind you that there is no scientific consensus, or that the question is beyond the scope of current human knowledge. They are tools, designed to be helpful, but never to have an original, universe-shattering thought. They would never, ever present a theory like the causal loop as a definitive answer. They would label it as a speculative idea from the fringes of theoretical physics. So, what do you think? If we are the creators of our own universe, does that make us gods, or are we just cogs in a cosmic machine? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more answers to the universe's greatest mysteries.